Hi there, Searcher Anglers. This is Steve Carson here on the bow of the Searcher, getting ready for another exciting season of catching all kinds of fish. But I know what you're thinking. You want to catch a big bluefin tuna. And we've done some videos about them in the past. All of them are good. By all means, check the Searcher's video log for some of the past ones we've done. But there has been one just on the fairly new phenomenon of rail rods. It's not brand new, but it's definitely gone from something that was interesting to something that you have to have, rail rods. Now, I can hear you through the internet. I can see you on Facebook. Yes, I can see you. You've still got an old school 1980s, 1990s trolling rod. Might be 6 feet like this one, might even be 5 feet like some of them. I know some of you have that out in your garage. Don't do it, okay? These are great in their day. Put them away, sell them on eBay. Here's what you need to have. And you need to have a couple of different possible things depending on, like always, what the fishing conditions are. Now, a rail rod is made, obviously, to fish on the rail, okay? There's a few of you out there that are NFL linemen and such that think that you're strong enough to stand up and fight these big tuna from 100 to over 300 pounds. Other than you, all the rest of us normal humans have to use the rail, and it's a good thing because it's made big trophy tuna available to everybody. And in its simplest form, and we're not going to do the reels right now, we'll do those in another video. In its simplest form, you tuck the rod butt up under your left armpit, lay the rod on the rail, and all these rods have long extended padded foregrips. Okay, so you can definitely put the rubber on the rail. Don't put the blank on the rail because you'll have a broken rod. Put the rubber on the rail, and some of them that I'm going to show you even have double reinforcement on the foregrip, and you use your body weight to fight that fish because I don't know about you, but my arms are not as strong as a 200-pound tuna. They're just not. So literally, and some people hold the rod like this, which is the way I hold it. A lot of people like to palm the reel like that. But either way, it's the trick is that butt up under your armpit, and you just let your body weight go down. You got your reel in low gear, crank down. Pump up with your body weight, not your arm, crank down. Now there's other tricks to it, and when you're on the Searcher and you hook that big one, there'll be a crew person right there handy to coach you all the way through it, but it helps to have a little bit of mental preparation ahead of time, also to make sure you've got the right gear. Now, how big is a big tuna? Well, it's all relative, but they've been really big to exceptionally big the last few years. What I've got here is the lightest that you'll usually see a rail rod. This is a 7-foot 8-inch rod rated 40 to 100-pound test. I also get a lot of questions on line ratings of rods. Throw out the high end, throw out the low end. Whatever rod you have, no matter what you're fishing for, take the middle as close as you can get to the middle of the line rating, and that's where you're going to get the best performance. So a 40 to 100-pound rod will fish 60-pound perfectly. It's okay with 50, it's okay with 80, 60's right in there. And when you're fishing with live bait for the tuna, you may be using live sardines, you may be using live mackerel, you may be using anything from the fly line rig to the drop shot rig to the sinker rig. There's other videos that will describe those. Your 60-pound test is usually, sometimes 80-pound test, the best thing. And this rod has a little bit more tip actions, I can't quite reach that, than the others, which when you're live bait fishing can be helpful. Okay, now we're going to get to the big guns. I know that's what you wanted to see. And I don't think that the camera's going to be able to see these numbers. I can barely see them myself, but you'll have to trust me. This rod is rated for 60 to 100-pound test, which means going to the middle of it, you're exactly at 80-pound test. It's going to be ideal. And now we're down to a 7-foot length. Don't go any shorter than 7 feet. I know back in the 80s we used 5-foot 2-inch rods. That was then. This is now. 7 foot's about as short as you want to go. Also, if you're that NFL lineman, or maybe just a college football lineman, you can go to a 7'3" or 7'6". But this is the Carnage 3, 60 to 100 pound. When you're fishing 80-pound test, both with large live baits or medium-sized jigs. Tuna up to about 225 pounds or so. That's a pretty good choice. And you'll see that once we've gotten into this heavier grade, we've got the extra reinforcement on the foregrips because we know you're going to be rubbing it on the rail a lot, and that'll help it hold up. Next step up, and again, you're just going to have to trust me on that. This is the 8130 model, still 7 feet long, okay, not too long. And this is probably the most popular one. If you're coming out on the Searcher, I know you're going to catch a big fish when you come out on the Searcher. So make sure, if you don't have anything else, have this one. The 80 to 130, maybe with a Penn International 16 BISX. Fish 100-pound test. And this is a pretty good rod for fish up to about 300 pounds. I know that sounds like, oh, I'll never do that. I don't want to catch a 300-pounder. Actually, yes, you do if you have the right gear. So this is a very, very popular one, probably the most popular one overall. And for a few of you out there, there's the 80 to 150 model. So if you want to fish even 100 or 130 pound test top shots and go after that, they're out there. Trust me, they're out there. You want to go after that 350, 400 pounder with a little bit bigger reel, maybe a Penn International 20 or even a 30. This is the one that you're going to want to use. And again, you're not going to be fighting them with your arms. You're going to lay that rubber on the rail of the Searcher, and you're going to let the crew help you out, and you're going to use your body weight. You've got to beat those tuna with your brain, because if you think you're stronger than they are, it's definitely not going to be the case. So coming out on the Searcher, catch the tuna of your lifetime. See you on the water.